Come on here, girl. Oh, come on over here, come over here, hey, girl. Oh, shake it, shake it, shake it for me, wag that tail, girl. Oh, shake it, shake it for me, wag that tail, girl.
Oh yeah, just what they need, but then they fed me lies. It comes as no surprise that we still holding on, and fear would take it over. They said we don't belong. We will not anymore, cause maybe this is just the way that we roll.
All right. Welcome back to my world here on the internet. I'm your host, Moises Beauchamp Jr., coming at you with another one. Today we're talking about how it's 4 years later. We're still looking for little Dulce Maria Alves, and they're saying that somebody knows something. We're going to talk about that today. My co-host, Miss Brenda, she's on here with me. As you can see, she's taking the lead today. She's gonna run the show. Welcome, Miss Brenda, to the stage. Welcome, Miss
Hello.
Brenda.
Good evening, everyone. Well, as 2 days ago, which what is today? Tuesday, right? So as of Monday, or when no, yesterday it started coming out, or Sunday, the advertisement for the Dulce's documentary was coming out. Well, it came out, and they have been giving us sneak previews of the people that they have spoken to in reference to Dulce's case. Like, we will be hearing from the first reporter who reported onto the scene, and like what did they see. And that's kind of exciting because a lot of us don't know nothing at all that involves the case. Just an ice cream video, as everybody can see, is the same video. It's going to be 4 years and it's the same video. Like, it's the same one. So we have seen nothing different than that video, and we have heard nothing, read anything different than that, than whatever it is that they're saying. But apparently they have, sounds like some good stuff, and they're hoping to get 1 million views, and let's get those views up there to see if they will be able to locate the abductor. Now I can't see any comments, so if somebody comments something, I won't be able to answer the questions because I don't know why I can't see them.
I don't know neither, but there isn't no comments yet. I'll
Okay.
put them up on the screen once they start popping up.
Okay. I almost did something crazy there. All right, so that's one. We'll talk about the documentary. I'm going to wait for a little bit more people to come on, but I want to speak about also, if you want to put it, or you're going to do it right now?
Okay. I mean, you want me to put something else up other than this for the moment?
Yeah, for the moment right now, I want you to put up the one that has the anti-predator press release. I want to talk about that real fast because then by then there will be enough people that joined, and then we wouldn't have to, be repetitive about the documentary that's coming out.
I'm not sure that I know what you're talking about.
You know, the one with, I just sent it to
The
you.
anti-predator.
Let me see.
Okay, I'll check it. I'll check it. Go ahead, keep.
All right. So anyway, so while we're here talking, one of my main concerns has always been the Amber Alert. And although we don't really know how to execute an Amber Alert, because we're just regular citizens, but we also are in tune when things come out on TV with other cases that are going around. And I just mean in general, because like when a child goes missing or a person goes missing, everyone's real attentive, to make sure that they don't spot this person out in the street or whatever. But everyone's always attentive to someone who's been missing, regardless if it's a child or an adult. So with that being said, when a child goes missing at Dulce's age, at 5 years old, what is the expectations, for an Amber Alert? Because she was 5, and when they got there, did they immediately speak to the witnesses that were there? Because the reason we'll know during this documentary And the reason why,
Is that what you was talking about?
no, but that's fine. We'll talk about her in a few
That's what,
seconds.
that's what you had sent me
I'll send it.
last.
I'll send it to you right now. But anyway, that young
Okay.
lady that's on the screen right now, she's missing from Millville, New Jersey. She's currently missing from Millville, New Jersey. She's been missing since 10:59 last night, and unfortunately, they still have not set out an Amber Alert for this girl. And how her mother explains things, and how when the officers were there, how everything's been going down, where her daughter could possibly be, what her boyfriend did. It's a lot. And then to see how slow they will go when it's something that important. Like, I don't get it, and how they're taking so long to assist this mother in locating her child.
Yeah, because
Because
you said this little girl's been missing since 10:45 last night, and they yet to put out an Amber Alert
and on
for
top of
this
that,
case.
yeah, and they had everything that matches the criteria. Okay, they have the description of they actually have the vehicle on camera, so they already know. There was a couple witnesses that stated that they seen her getting into the vehicle. The people from across the way, they submitted their video footage, and the mom stated that they had a real clear view of the license plate of the vehicle, and to know that her daughter was more like led to the car. It's not like let's get to the car. She was led to the car. This young lady that's standing up here on the screen, she was led to the car by her boyfriend, and in the car there was two older white males. So it's three white males, the young boy, and then the two older gentlemen. And now they have not heard from her since 10:59 last night. And we actually went over there because I don't know if you guys remember in the beginning of Dulce's case where there was like these ransom bitcoins. People were trying to do stupid stuff with the bitcoins and say, "Oh, I have her, it's a ransom," whatever, whatever. But that lady right there, she got a text message. She actually got a phone call and a text message. I'm not going to get into details of what was stated between the call and the texts, because right now that's literally under investigation. So anyway, so she gets this call from this gentleman saying, that they got her daughter or whatever, and she's supposedly being held for ransom. But at first I told them, I said, maybe that's like a scam, because there's a lot of people out there that do that to these families. They know that they're looking and reaching out for their loved ones, and why would they even reach out to somebody and say some stupid stuff like that? But anyway, it turns out to be true. So, and they're still waiting for the prosecutor, and they're still waiting for the detective. Okay. Anyway, that's my opinion on that. I don't understand why, if they know all of this, is it taking this long to execute anything, especially having a picture of the boyfriend on hand. So let's talk about the Amber Alert for this girl too. So this girl, she meets all the requirements. She is in danger. There is a description of the vehicle. She did not possibly go willingly. Although it's her boyfriend, the way people were claiming is that the girl was led to the vehicle. Not like walking side by side, letting people know that your boyfriend. Well, the people knew that they were in a relationship. That's not the point. And the girl's 15 years old. But what I'm saying is how he led her to a car that a lot of people had already thought, like what the hell. So, but at that time they didn't know anything of it until, unfortunately, now they do. So anyway, the criteria for activation of an Amber Alert system. The following criteria, and this is in New Jersey. I did not pull one for California. We actually, Anna actually printed it out, and this is the one from New Jersey. So the following criteria shall be met before an Amber Alert is activated. Okay, and in this paper that I have, they have that it's highlighted in purple. So the criteria for activation of the Amber Alert system, that's highlighted in purple. This next line is also highlighted in purple. The following criteria should be met before an Amber Alert is activated, meaning that the whole page is not highlighted. But these two specific criteria, because they got 1, 2, 3, but the first two are highlighted in purple. They said, there is reason to believe that a child under the age of 18 has been abducted. That's one. Then there is a reason to believe that the abducted child may be in danger of death or serious bodily injury. A 5-year-old child. Okay? Then number 3, there is reason to believe that an Amber Alert would assist in locating the child considering all relevant circumstances, including whether there is enough descriptive information available and the amount of time that has elapsed since the child was last seen and was last reported missing. Right? When deciding whether to activate or request activation of an Amber Alert, law enforcement officials should consider whether the reported abduction was done by a family member or someone acting on behalf of a family member. Any Amber Alert should not be activated unless the Amber Alert criteria has been met. Okay, right? So we're all thinking, why? They said 29 hours later. She got abducted about 4:20. It wasn't until 10 o'clock the next day, p.m. at night, that people in Cumberland County started receiving the Amber Alert texts notifying them of a missing 5-year-old child. And when those Amber Alerts came out, I have an actual screenshot of it. I actually should have shared that with you before I actually commented it. But they even had a wrong color shirt on the ones that came out, the text message that came out for that Amber Alert. They said it was pink. She wasn't even wearing the color pink.
Wow.
Yeah. So anyway, so with that said, with New Jersey, okay, and mind you, the Amber Alert plan was created in 1996 as a powerful legacy to a 9-year-old Amber Hagerman, a bright little girl who was kidnapped while riding her bicycle in Arlington, Texas, and brutally murdered. The tragedy shocked and outraged the entire community. Residents contacted radio stations in the Dallas area and suggested they broadcast special alerts over the airwaves so that they can help prevent such incidents in the future. In response into the community's concern for the safety of local children, the Dallas-Fort Worth, Lord have mercy, Association of Radio Managers teamed up with local law enforcement agencies in northern Texas and developed this innovative. Jesus Christ, I can't even read. And developed this innovative.
Gotta get you some of the
early warning system to help find abducted children. Statistics show that when abducted, a child's greatest enemy is the passage of time. So, remember when Dulce went missing, the chief of police said, time is of the essence. Whether she was abducted, kidnapped by a stranger, or whether it was a criminal thing. Either way, he said, both of them was time was the essence or whatever. Anyway, so they had enough information for that. But let's jump to, where's this one at? Hold on. So then we have, you all right, Wee? Okay. Okay. All right, so sorry about that. All right, so anyway, so we already know that with Dulce's Amber Alert, right, it didn't come through until, they say 29 hours later, even including this documentary, but you got to think about the time that it actually was dispersed to people in Cumberland County. And that was at 10 o'clock at night. So anyway, so then we have Summer Wells. You remember Summer Wells?
That's when Dulce's Amber Alert went out. Was at 10 o'clock at night.
Yeah, the next day.
The next day. Wow.
Not the same day, although which you'll see it right here on this actual documentary, that the chief stated that he thought maybe she was tangled in some brush or something like that. But either way, even if she was tangled in some brush or she rolled down, because you'll see it here on the when I read it, does somebody know something thingy? Anyway, that's what he said. But anyway, so we go back to Summer Wells. When Summer Wells disappeared, right? We all know that earlier on that day, Summer Wells went swimming with her mother, her siblings, I think, and then a cousin that was already under, like, he was already charged for, explicit stuff on children, and he apparently was there, during the water trip. Anyway, so in that Amber Alert, when the cops came there and they brought a dog, okay, the dog went following Summer's scent. So it sat at the driveway and it alerted them, letting them know, because when they sit, it's because they found something. We don't know how they work, but I'm pretty sure that that's a form of command. So anyway, the dog sat and it was facing towards the ending of the road, meaning, like the way out or whatever. So when the dog sat, it was indicating to them that she possibly was taken in a vehicle, because, that's how they know. They know that because they're the ones that train these doggies. And when them dogs sit or they do something, it's alerting them and letting them know that they found what they was looking for. And I would know that during a search dog, they're looking for scent. So, wherever the scent was the strongest till it get to the minimum of it is probably where they were alert. Anyway, this is just me. I don't know about that stuff. But what I'm saying is that these people, when they set out the Amber Alert for Summer Wells, they didn't have a vehicle description. They did not even have a suspect. They didn't have nothing. And they immediately sent out an Amber Alert for her. And let me tell you something. They have the same Amber Alert laws, because I printed it out. Let's check this out. Let's see what is their requirements in Tennessee, and are they any different from New Jersey? So let's see. All right. The only difference here is that New Jersey does 18 and under, and apparently they do 17 and under. So to me, that's probably like the only difference that I've seen. Okay, so in order to issue an Amber Alert, the following criteria must be met. And this is for Tennessee missing alerts and criteria. This is from the actual Tennessee government, TBI, like we literally went into their government thing and we printed it out. So anyway, so number one, this person is 17 years of age or younger. And number two, the child is in imminent danger of bodily injury or death. 3, there's a description of the child, the abductor, or vehicle. And 4, on a request from another state for activation, there is a direct and identified nexus to the state of Tennessee, and that information is conveyed to TBI at the time of the request. Because TBI over there, that Tennessee Bureau investigation, was the one who let out the Amber Alert for Summer Wells. But did you see what was different between their requirements for Summer Wells compared to the requirements for Dulce? Because even if they thought she was taken due to some criminal activity, let's just say they all say, the community, the public says, oh, well, the mama knows. So even if the police thought for 1 second that the mother was involved and maybe she sold her child, like people are saying, right? Wouldn't you think that they would still execute the Amber Alert because the child was in danger, especially at 5? I mean, Summer Wells got one. And I'm not saying it because of anything. I'm just saying that there was 2 different abductions. Well, I'm not even going to say Summer Wells got abducted. Summer Wells, her parents literally did something to that child. There's no denying that they were the ones that did something to their kid. But and you know what? And you know what actually upsets me is that people actually stand behind Summer Wells' parents and they're like, oh, there she's wondering where her kid is at. Like you don't see the fools that they're acting on national TV, on YouTube, especially the latest when Summer Wells' mother was being interviewed by like a behavioral FBI agent or something, and it was I just watched it and shared it the other day, and it's on the page of they were looking for a body. It was a body language expert. I'm sorry, there it goes. It was a body language expert that was asking her questions. All of a sudden, she was like, "I don't want to talk about it. I feel like I'm getting interviewed, and I don't want to get interrogated again." And people were like, "Oh, she's all." But
I think that there's, I
uh-huh.
think with the Summer Wells, my opinion about the Summer Wells situation is that, about them parents is that they're just like, they're hillbillies. They're slow. They're like, the type of people that they're inbred and they're just not that bright. And something crazy happened there, and I believe that family knows, but I just think it's like it was a tragedy, an accident or something. And
Well,
they just, I don't know, they just be too high to like
right.
comprehend shit.
Either way, the same community that says that Noema doesn't do anything should be the same community that goes over there and tells them that they're not doing anything either, because they're that whole total thing over there with Summer Wells is just ridiculous. But people still applaud the fact that the mother's trying or the father's trying, but don't nobody say, wow, like this girl is really trying to find her daughter, because that's what she's been doing. Um, anyway, so up on the screen, I'm pretty sure you guys already read it. That was for a press release that Trent did for Dulce. They will be arriving on September 15th, and they'll be here, for the event. And they're saying that if anybody has any credible evidence, including those naysayers that say that they have evidence, you can go and go there to where he's at, and you can contact him, and he will gladly take whatever it is that you have if it's not nothing that he's already seen. But he'll still take those too. But I'm just saying, like, these are for the people who are actually scared of talking to a police officer or handing in a tip, because you don't know if this person thinks that because they're not a citizen that they might get deported, and there should be not there. You shouldn't worry, because that guy came down here and he said that he wasn't going to do that. So anyway, you could pull up the documentary.
Alrighty then.
But yeah, so what was the difference, guys, between both states when an Amber Alert was issued? Because was the witnesses still there when the police arrived, or did they just tell Noema that? Because Noema was speaking on what the witnesses told her. She didn't see nothing. She didn't see the abduction. She had clear view of the park. Clear view. She could see everything in the park. The basketball courts, the slide, the little spinny thingy that goes around. The only thing that she could not see in that park was the swings. And that's where the abductor was at, on or around that area.
Let me know when you're ready for me to hit play.
You can hit play. We're going to give credit to NBC 10. But go ahead, babe.
Yes, most definitely. Shout out to NBC 10. Under copyright laws, I am able to use this content for educational, entertainment purposes. Here we go. Shout out NBC.
She's a sweet girl. She likes to watch TV. She's sweet, loving, caring. I already told Dulce, do you want to go to the park? And she was happy. She got excited. And she was playing in the slides with her brother. That's the last thing I seen doing her. She was going down the slide. I thought she was just playing hide and seek. I thought she was hiding in the woods or something. I was screaming. I couldn't find it. That's where in my mind went, what if somebody had took her or something?
911, where's your emergency?
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, when was the last time you seen her?
We were there at the park and people said that probably somebody took her.
The amount of time the child's been missing, obviously if the child wandered away, time is of the essence. Obviously if there's something foul play amiss, time is also of the essence.
There were roadblock canvases set up, canvases of the
Time is of the essence.
canvases, video canvases, a lot of things that require a lot of people and a lot of resources.
We're not gonna stop looking for her. We're gonna look for her until we find her. That we miss her a lot. That we want her back home.
Do you recognize this man? Cumberland County prosecutors want you to take a close look at his face. He has dark brown eyes, a goatee, and acne on his chin. Investigators don't know who he is, but say a witness saw the man with at least one small child in the park at the same place and time that 5-year-old Dulce Alaves was kidnapped.
Yes, we believe that she was taken from the park.
What happened with Dulce, it caught the whole town in shock because you don't hear stuff like that, especially in this city.
Puts the city on edge for something like that significant to happen.
We would believe that the person that took Dulce was familiar with the park, was there for a reason. It's also highly probable that we may have had contact with this person already, and we just don't realize the connection to the abduction. As time goes on, it's much more difficult. The investigation becomes more difficult. The leads and the new things that come in aren't as fresh.
Somebody knows something. She just didn't vanish in thin air.
I'm sure somebody knows, but we don't know at this point exactly what happened in the park that day.
I know she's gonna appear and we're gonna find her someday.
Somebody knows something. Whoops. Oh, excuse me. Miss Brenda, are you there?
Yeah, I'm here, but you heard what he said, right? Time is of the essence.
Yeah, he did say that. Time
And
is
then
of the essence. He said it quite a few times too.
Yeah, and even if it's foul play, so why almost 2 days, like a whole day later, the Amber Alert was set out? I don't understand it. Oh, what happened? But anyway, so
Yeah.
you know,
Yeah, you want me to put up the other one?
yeah, if you can.
Okay.
But while you're doing
Yeah.
that anyway, so
Okay, give me a second. I gotta go ahead, kick it because I gotta find it.
okay. So what is the difference between, like I said, the New Jersey criteria for an Amber Alert and the Tennessee criteria for an Amber Alert? What's the difference? And the only reason why I'm cross-referencing the Summer Wells with Dulce is because you know for a fact that there was no vehicle, there was no suspect, there was nothing but their parents' accounts and the people's accounts that were there on that property when Summer Wells just like vanished. Okay? Anyway, so when the dog alerted the people over there in Tennessee, you know, like I said, it indicated to them, yeah, in reference to the dog in the Summer Wells case, is the same thing. What I'm going to tell you in the Dulce case, because that's what I forgot to say earlier. So the dog in Dulce's case, okay, did the same thing. Behind the buildings, it sat. Okay. And this I learned, this part right here, I learned from Trent, because when he asked Noema the question when we had that conference, he asked her, did they tell you, you know, where the dog lost the scent? And she said, yeah, behind the building. And she told him that the dog sat down. Then he asked, which way was the dog facing when it did that? And she said, towards West Avenue. And he was like, that, you know, because that's apparently that's what the dogs do when they're in that type of line of work. And I didn't know that. He taught me that. So he like taught me something brand new that was already given in the Summer Wells case. I just didn't know, you know, how was that going to be placed in Dulce's case, because I was more focused on sending out the Amber Alert, you know, like I said, with no vehicle, no description. But it comes to be that the dog was the one that led to that Amber Alert, just like in Dulce's case. Why didn't they set out an Amber Alert at that present time? Or even, or let's check this out, because there's even them on video saying that they had to call off the search early because it was too dark. So it was like, what, about 11 o'clock at night or something like that they said that, and that they were going to resume early and back in the morning during daylight. So guess what? If she did not appear between your time frame, time is of the freaking essence, time frame, because really the first 4 to 24 hours are the most crucial for anyone that's missing, whether it's a child or an adult. And the statistics, everybody can Google it, they'll even tell you. Even the National Missing of Exploited Children, just like they always tell you that they're never far from where they got abducted, unless they were taken for like sex trafficking. And not even, because you could still be right there with the same thing anyway. So why didn't they set out the Amber Alert if there was enough, just with the enough that they got? Like, that's why in this documentary, they told me that we'll be learning more of why the Amber Alert wasn't issued right away. Although they thought it was foul play or an actual abduction, they didn't think that it met the criteria for an Amber Alert. Where did you think this child was? If you thought she was being sold to sex trafficking, you would set the Amber Alert. Yeah, she hates it too. She hates listening to that call. But I when I'm with her, we talk about that call. I try to talk to her about certain things that I find out. And then I try to explain to her, like, so, okay, so like, you know, and then we go through, okay, so what were you doing? You know, and she sticks to, it's the same story. Anyway, go ahead, babe, play the video.
It was supposed to be a fun afternoon of playing in the park for Dulce Maria Alves. Instead, it turned into a frantic search for the 5-year-old, a search that continues today.
Her story is the focus of the NBC 10 News original series called Somebody Knows Something. NBC 10 investigative reporter Claudia Vargas is taking a fresh look at the case and has a preview of the disappearance of Dulce. Claudia.
Jackie, Johnny, well, over the last several months, we retraced Dulce's last known steps, spent time with her family, and spoke with investigators. The result is the most comprehensive look at her case to date.
911, where's your emergency?
I can't find my daughter.
A 5-year-old goes missing from a park.
I was screaming. I couldn't find it. That's where in my mind went, what if somebody had took her or something?
The small town of Bridgeton, New Jersey had never experienced anything like this.
They caught the whole town in shock because you don't hear stuff like that, especially in this city.
Dulce Maria Alves was gone, but was she taken?
If the child wandered away, time is of the essence. Obviously, if there's something foul play amiss, time is also of the essence.
And there were
Time is of the essence.
Canvases of the park, neighborhood canvases, video canvases.
The search for Dulce continues as days turn into nights, then weeks, months, and years.
As time goes on, it's much more difficult.
Now, the NBC 10 series, Somebody Knows Something, The Disappearance of Dulce, takes a new look at the case, retracing the timeline, including questions about the timing of the Amber Alert. Why the delay?
Again, I wouldn't say it was a delay.
Plus, the sketch of a potential suspect, the psychic tips, and searches across the country.
Everybody was waiting to find a dead body that day.
Premiering Friday night at 7 only on NBC 10 and our streaming channels.
Somebody knows something. She just didn't vanish in thin air.
And leading up to Friday night at 7 o'clock, we'll have a series of stories focused on the different aspects of the case. You can see those right here on NBC 10 News at 5.
And so many questions about this case, Claudia, and you have been doing a lot of reporting and a lot of research. Why have you invested so much time into this story and the case?
Yeah. Well, I would say two things. One, this case really captivated our whole region when it happened. I mean, everybody takes their kids to the playground. Nobody expects to come home without one of them. So this happened. So we wanted to know what did happen that day and take a little deeper dive into what happened. But then two, and personally, this was kind of the bigger deal for me, was we've done other documentaries on, we did the Who Killed Barbara Jean, Boy in the Box, and those kids, while we were amplifying their stories, they were dead already. They had been killed, so there was no bringing them back. In this case, with Dulce, law enforcement believe she's still alive. And so if our series can do anything, and as it's called, Somebody Knows Something, if somebody knows something and they come forward with some information, it's all worth it. So I really think it's the hope that still exists in this case that made us want to pursue it.
Hard to believe we're coming up on 4 years already almost. Claudia, thank you for that. And we'll be posting all of those stories throughout the week, as well as the entire special on our website. To watch those videos online, go to NBC10.com and search Somebody Knows Something.
Somebody knows something. That's what they're saying.
They know something.
That time is of the essence. Time is of the essence, but 4 years later and still no little Dulce Maria Alves. What's up with that?
Okay, so you just heard the guy on this little sneak preview that he said it wasn't really that delayed on the Amber Alert, right? Right? So, because although Noema stated that somebody probably took her because she was saying on the 911 call what the people told her in the basketball courts, okay? And remember that they told her that it was in a red van sliding door. Like, these are what witnesses are telling her. Where were those witnesses when the police arrived on the scene? That instantly when they got there, what Noema just said through the 911 call was non-existent. Because that honestly is what makes her look a little bit bad. And but it's not her. She was saying what people were telling her that was at the basketball courts and what they believed happened. Oh, well, we seen her. She was running behind the buildings while a black guy was walking back there. Where's that black guy at? Why don't we hear about this black guy that was seen walking behind the buildings? Why is it that we don't know who in the hell he is? But one of those witnesses stated there was a black guy that was walking behind the building. Because instead of Noema saying, because sometimes she has issues with speaking in her English, She does better in her native language. So she says that, you know, like somebody in the 911 call, somebody knocked Manny's ice cream down on the floor, and that she ran away. And that while she ran away, there was a black guy walking behind the building. See, she didn't run away, she ran. But to her, it's like running away from the area. You know, and then that's how she speaks. She speaks on how she sees it. You know? So anyway, because we'll play the 911 call before we actually end this live. So if you want to look for it, babe, while I'm reading this article, you can. Anyway, so on the article.
Do we really have to listen to that 911 call again?
Yeah.
Alrighty, then I'll just play that video again.
No, we don't have to listen to it. But anyway, in the 911 call, it states it's because, listen, that 911 operator kept cutting her off while she was trying to relay information to her. The 911 dispatcher from Bristol was not using her good brain. Okay? Her listening skills. Her listening skills. We'll play it again. Okay, well, I'm going to read this article real fast while you're looking for it. All right, so on September 16, 2019, because this is what NBC 10 just wrote for the documentary, Noema Alves was sitting in her car scratching off a lottery ticket while her two kids played at a nearby playground in Bristol, New Jersey. But she was sitting in the car with her sister too, because her sister was doing her homework, which the mother was instructed her that she had to get her homework done before she had fun time. So, okay. A few minutes later, she went to check on them. She then realized her 5-year-old daughter, Dulce Maria Alves, was gone. Some people on the basketball court next to the playground told Noema that Dulce ran behind some sheds at the same time. I don't know why they put two men were walking by, because it literally, anyway, because people just don't know how to freaking. Behind some sheds at the same time, two men were walking by, and that perhaps one of those men took her. Noema then called 911. After she was walking around, because, you know, just like a normal parent, you would think that they're playing 75% of the missing children, the parents think that they're playing hide and go seek. Can't tell me shit. I thought Josiah was playing hide and go seek too one time, and he was playing hide and go seek. But anyway, you would automatically think that your child is playing hide and go seek and you're calling them. But, you know, so when she started asking the people that were there, hey, have you seen my daughter? That's when they told her. Right, no matter which way you paint it, there was a delay. I agree with my sister. All right, so anyway, a police search ensued with help from state and federal authorities. Despite what the girls on the despite what the girls on the basketball court said, okay, not only did they just disregard Noema in the 911 call by interrupting her while she was relaying important information, despite what the girls on the basketball court said, police stated they did not have evidence of an abduction, a requirement for an Amber Alert. They just freaking told you. So, this is what he said. Through the early morning, we were still hoping to find the child was maybe in the brush or had gotten tangled up, the Bristol police chief said. But I don't know that she was tangled up because you was there searching the area when she got there. So if you did not find her in that brush that was right there, where were you going to find her? Okay, so here comes the mother, Noema. As the hours ticked by, Noema begged officials for an Amber Alert. Then Noema begged officials for an Amber Alert. Then 29 hours after police arrived on scene, an Amber Alert was issued. Then 29 hours after police arrived on the scene, an Amber Alert was issued, describing a suspect and the car Dulce was believed to be taken in. But And I can't believe they started the sentence with but okay. But without cameras in the park, police couldn't collaborate. Come on, they're gonna have to fix that. Collaborate the witness statements that led to the Amber Alert. But without cameras in the park, police couldn't collaborate the witness statements that led to an Amber Alert. Pero por qué? You should have still done it anyway. You had sufficient shit to do an Amber Alert, but you didn't. I don't understand it. Because it says it here, despite what the girls on the basketball court said, police stated they did not have enough evidence of an abduction, a requirement for an Amber Alert. But wait a minute. Summer Wells, she didn't have enough. She didn't have anything. Nobody seen nothing. Not even her own parents seen anything, although they seen it, but they didn't see anything. You know what I mean? And here you have witnesses in the park explaining to you what they saw. But then 29 hours after police arrived on scene, an Amber Alert was issued describing a suspect and the car Dulce was believed to be taken in. But without cameras in the park, police couldn't collaborate the witness statements that led to the Amber Alert. What the flying colors? They already, just because you couldn't collaborate what the witnesses said, it was witnesses. Anyway, police have continued to investigate tips going across the country and to Mexico. And it's true, they've been to Mexico. Local law enforcement officials have also kept a close eye on Dulce's family, executing a search warrant at her home years after she went missing. But to this day, Dulce remains missing. And we all know why that search warrant was executed over there at her house. And she was real compliant with it. Her mom wasn't even there. She was real compliant. They asked her for all her stuff. They asked for her parents for all their stuff, and she didn't keep anything. She gave them everything that they wanted. She allowed them to go in there and look around, you know. Anyway, it says 4 years after Dulce's disappearance, NBC 10 investigative reporter Claudia Vargas is taking a fresh look at the case. She retraced Dulce's last known steps and spoke with the family, the girl's family in the case. Anyway, Tuesday, September 12th. Since 5-year-old Dulce Maria went missing from Beauchamp City Park in 2019, law enforcement officials have been following up on hundreds of tips, from tracking down red cars to checking out psychic readings. Police have also traveled across the country and to Mexico in search of answers to Dulce's disappearance, but Dulce has yet to be found. And last year, police executed a warrant, like I said, at Dulce's home, indicating that police still believes her family may know more than what they're letting in. They're indicating that. Obviously, there was nothing because they returned all their freaking electronics back. And you know, if they find something credible, they ain't gonna give it back to you. Wednesday, September 13th, security at the park where Dulce went missing. The playground at Beauchamp City Park was not equipped with surveillance cameras when Dulce Maria Alvarez was missing in September 2019. So you're telling me that those buildings that hold the equipment for the city didn't have no cameras? And you're also telling me that the Beauchamp Hall of Fame that is sitting directly in the corner with memorabilia that cost tons of money don't got no cameras? Their camera system didn't catch anything? Because to my knowledge, they have enough cameras to see what's going on. Anyway, so it said, and so police did not have video capturing what happened to the little girl that led to her disappearance. Based on the witness accounts of a young child and someone older, listen to that. Based on the witness accounts of a young child and someone older, Dulce was taken by a Hispanic man who police have yet to track down. Oh my Lord Jesus. But let me tell you something, okay? If they're still looking for that suspect, why aren't they posting him at least once a week or something? How they do other cases out here? That office continuously posts a bunch of stuff, but you barely see anything that has to do with Dulce. If you keep on sharing that photo and telling the community that you're still looking for that suspect, because it only takes a few words, right? Okay, but it's not done. Anyway, so it says, Dulce was taken by a Hispanic male who police have yet to track down. Since then, Dulce's mom has been asking city officials to install city cameras at the playground. In late 2020, the city agreed to install several surveillance cameras throughout the park. We tested some of their cameras to see just what it captures. Yeah, because they say, well, apparently they do have cameras, because they be like, it's high definition camera.
And what did it capture? What does it capture now?
I don't know, because I guess they're going to let us know in the documentary. Right. So anyway,
so we gotta wait for the documentary.
So it says, delay in the Amber Alert in the Dulce case. When Noema Alaves called 911 to report her daughter, Dulce, missing, she told police that some people on the basketball court said they saw her daughter running behind some sheds at the same time as two men were walking by. It was just one, goddammit. One black male. Noema shared on the line that the girls at the court said one of the men may have taken her. That's what those girls on the basketball courts were telling her. Because that was the last time they seen Dulce going back there. Those girls on the basketball courts. Okay? Anyway, when police arrived on the scene, they intensively searched the woods, expecting to find her lost in there. Oh, but wait a minute, because if you go back up to the beginning of this article, look, that says it here, that they checked it, okay, that they intensely searched the woods that day. But if you go up, the next day, the chief is still thinking that she's caught up in some damn brush, or in the whatever the hell he just said. All right. Anyway, at the same time, because Dulce was under the age of 13, the Cumberland County Prosecutor's Office activated its child abduction response team. But even through the next morning, the Beauchamp police chief said there was no evidence of an abduction. So what do you think Dulce did? Walk to Willy Wonka's chocolate factory? Still, Dulce's mom asked police, and this is their words on here on this paper. Still, Dulce's mom asked police to issue an Amber Alert. And like they said, it wasn't until 29 hours after police arrived on the scene that New Jersey State Police, not Bristol State Police, New Jersey State Police, issued an Amber Alert detailing Dulce's suspected abduction and abductor. Questions remain if the delay hindered the investigation. Yes, the hell it did. It's not live. You can't see it. They can't see you. Anyway, so this is the last piece of the article. But you guys remember, I think it was like 2 years ago when Dulce turned 7 years old, that they did the age progression photo. Now everybody, including her family, okay, right, a witness is your camera pendejos, because it's both their eyes. You know what I mean? So, what was I saying?
That age progression, age progression photo that don't look nice.
Right. And you remember that Dulce's mom, she kept saying in the family, like, that's not how they even pictured her, that she would look like. It looked nothing like her. But did they listen to Noema and the family when they were saying that they really didn't even want to use those photos and sharing, because if they felt that they were sharing somebody that doesn't look like Dulce and they would never find her. That's why they barely like sharing that photo. And the same for me. I don't really like sharing that photo. I don't think it looked anything like her. But anyway, so Dulce on September, which this is Friday, this is what they're gonna documentary. Dulce Maria Alaves went missing, right? So anyway, she had just started kindergarten. Presuming she is alive, her face most likely changed as she got older. A 2-year mark of her disappearance, the National Center for Missing and Exploited Children issued an age progression composite of what they thought Dulce would look like at 7 years old. Remember, that looked nothing like Dulce. The hope is that someone in the public will recognize her. How they're going to recognize somebody that doesn't even look like somebody? The forensic artist who drew it used family pictures of Dulce to get a feel for the girl's feature traits. Lord have mercy. Now, to my understanding, they use like Camila's picture and the kids' pictures. Like, why would you use, anyway. Anyway, but Dulce's family did not think the composite looked at anything like Dulce. But in this one right here, this article, it doesn't tell you, but they redid another composite. So on Friday, we will have a whole nother age progression photo. So anyway.
So they're going to be revealing a lot on Friday.
Yeah. They're going to be revealing a lot on Friday. But anyway, so she, finally, that they're giving her another photo of what, hopefully, and watch it be a whole total different freaking kid that was probably sitting right next to you at a doctor's office or something like that. But because they showed someone that was so differently, you would have not had expected that it was her. Because even the community was saying that she looked different. She looked like a whole different child, a whole different race, a whole different everything. She didn't, what? I said the same thing. She wanted to look like that. Right. Everybody said the same thing. And it was kind of hard to share those age progression photos knowing that you was deceiving the public in what, all right, love you too, baby. That you're deceiving the public in what you would think that Dulce looked like. And despite the family making an uproar about it, they still chose to use those photos to share awareness when, listen, this family has always felt that nobody's listening to them because they will say things and do things and it's always like, no. That age progression photo should have been taken down immediately. If a family member is coming up to you and telling you that this does not look like the person who you would think, I mean, whose actual say is it? Is it the family say or is it the people who actually drew the picture? But anyway, play that 911 call.
It should be on family. It should be the family who has the final say in everything.
Right.
But
hi, Chrissy.
it is what it is.
Chrissy, we were just talking about the documentary.
I can't find my daughter.
Okay, when was the last time you seen her?
We were here at the park and people said that somebody took her.
Okay. How old is she?
She's 5 years old.
Okay, and what park are you at?
Here in Beauchamp Park.
Okay, where at in the Beauchamp Park are you?
The one with the basketball court where high school is.
Okay, so you're at the basketball courts behind the high school?
Yes.
Okay. And what was she seen last wearing?
She was wearing, give me a second. Can you play what's on the bench in the weekend? I don't remember what clothes she was wearing, but she was wearing, I just remember her pants. She was wearing like a flowery pants and some heels, some white heels.
Okay. All right, ma'am, stay on the line. I'm going to transfer you over to the police, okay? And you said she was 5, correct?
Yes.
Now, what was you saying about the shirt when in the 911 call that you said something about?
On the Amber Alert, it had a whole different. On the Amber Alert, it had a whole different color shirt. And on top of that, even when the news people were posting it, One of them said brown shirt. I mean, it was just confusing. Nobody actually shared what this child had on the first 24 hours of her being missing.
All right, so we'll continue.
All right.
Hello, ma'am. Hello. Hi. Did you see which direction your child went? No, we were in the car. She came down with my son. They were running to the park, and then me and my sister, we came down. But when we got here at the park, she wasn't here. They said that my son was just crying with his ice cream because somebody threw his ice cream in the floor, and my daughter just ran away.
All right. You didn't see anyone else around there that she could possibly have went with?
No, no that I know of. Because we just don't know. There's just some other people that they're here that said that they saw her running through some houses in the back. And they said that they saw two men. They saw a black guy and they saw a Mexican man with two kids.
Who's saying that?
I see what you're talking about when, like, how the dispatcher kept interrupting her.
Yep, and you'll keep listening to it.
All right, let's listen.
They saw them.
But the people here in the basketball court that they saw her, they said that they saw her running.
They're saying that there's people there at the basketball court that they saw her running through some houses with two black males. She's light-skinned, Spanish.
Dispatcher says two black male, and she didn't say that.
She didn't say that.
Right. Let's repeat it again. Let's rewind it just a little bit to see. Look, it says it right there too. She's light skinned. Rewind it just a little bit.
She's light-skinned, Spanish. Males. She's light-skinned, Spanish.
Right.
They saw her running.
They're saying that there's people there at the basketball court that they saw her running through some houses with two black males. She's light-skinned, Spanish.
See what I'm saying? The mama didn't say that. The mama said a black guy and a Spanish guy.
With two
the
kids.
Dispatcher is saying two black males.
Mm-hmm.
And then they're describing her, saying that she's light-skinned and Spanish.
Right. And how did she know that? How did she know that if the Norma didn't even say that? That's why I keep saying that there should be a full 911 call, but everybody's saying no, that's, and I mean everybody, like reporters, when I'm asking them, and they're like, no, that is the full 911 call. So how the hell did this lady know that Dulce was a light-skinned Hispanic?
What color top does she have?
Maybe she is.
I don't remember.
Okay. Are you at the basketball court?
Yes, I'm here right now.
That's affirmed. She says that she's at the basketball court. And do you have your son with you, or is your son?
No, I have my son with me. They say he was crying when we found him. He was just standing there crying.
Oh, he was standing there crying. So who? You said that the black males took his ice cream?
No, they threw it in the floor. They had threw it in the floor.
So the male took his ice cream and threw it on the floor, and then they left with your daughter?
Probably, because I didn't saw it. When we came and looked for her, we were looking everywhere for her.
She said
and we
that
couldn't
her
find
son
her.
was at the basketball court with her daughter, that there was two black males that took her son's ice cream and threw it on the ground and left with her daughter. Okay, well, we have the officers. Are you on Mayor Aiken?
I already have an officer here.
Okay. All right, go speak with the police, ma'am, okay?
Okay.
So we heard
there
that.
you have it.
And they
Sure enough did. Did you
when
hear?
did they dispatch the officer? I didn't even hear him dispatching the officer. I
Well,
guess
at the beginning of the call, it seemed like she was speaking to one dispatcher, and then she was, patched over to another one. And I guess in between that time, they must have had somebody, sent to the park. I'm
yeah,
guessing.
but that's because she
I
called
don't know.
911. She called 911 directly, so it sends you to that 911 dispatch center, and then they send you to where your city where you're at. But they have a 911 dispatch thing out there in Christian. So it wasn't that long. They literally have one out there in Christian. So it wasn't that long for them to receive the 911 call. What was important during that 911 call is that in the first half of the dispatch, in the first half of the call, when she's talking to that 911 operator, he was compassionate. He was listening. He wasn't adding. He wasn't taking off. He wasn't cutting off. He was listening. And he was just as calm. Then it switches over, and this lady seems so incompassionate. Okay, so like, is your son there, or ready to say, did they take him too? Like, but then she keeps cutting her off. Keep on saying, when the hell did Noema say that both of those black males threw his ice cream on the floor, on the ground? She just kept being repetitive about the same thing, and that's
I
what
didn't
you're,
hear.
huh?
I never heard Naoma say that there was two black males. I heard her say that there was one black
One black
male
male.
and one Hispanic male. That's what I heard. That's what my ears heard. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. But listen, if if that's the information that from the Christian dispatch lady, from the police dispatch, because she was at the Christian police, when she dispatched that in their call, she communicated two black males to whatever patrolman was looking for whatever, or whatever patrolman was coming in, or where, if however they dispatch it, whatever, code 102 or whatever the hell. I'm just saying that's how they talk to each other. And then they have to initiate the description of the people that they already know offhand, right? So she's probably saying two black males, and so is the damn chief of police repeating what she's saying. Okay? And yes, Noema, probably, she sounds like she was a little bit preoccupied. She sounds like, huh?
Well, who wouldn't in a situation like that? Who wouldn't be preoccupied, nervous, and everything else?
That's her.
In a situation like that.
So she missed what that lady was telling her. And it's sad. It's sad that they're not accepting responsibility, okay, for some of this miscommunication, like the 911 call, the Amber Alert, okay? And we can all clearly see that the chief thought she was tangled up in some brush, right? But when Noema was calling her daughter, she would be crying. Mommy, you would hear her. It would, I mean, where the hell did he think that you get what I'm saying? Where did they think she went? What brush? Which one was she at? Although the dog alerted them, letting them know that she was taken in a vehicle. So I don't know why he waited.
Right.
He waited. It was him who waited. But it makes it seem like when they waited that long, it just makes her look guilty.
Who's he? Who are you talking about?
The chief of police, because he was the one that.
Okay, the chief of police. I got you. Well, in closing,
make sure that you watch the documentary on Friday at 7 p.m. Hopefully a lot of good things come out of that documentary. And then, whether color man or who is not, He did give them a description too. There wasn't much that he could see. The man was too far for him. Anyway, make sure that everybody get on the documentary. They want to have at least about 1 million views, so that like that it could circulate almost like the Gabby Petito. Let's get this going. Let's bring Dulce home, and hopefully that in the next few days we get a phone call or something and say that Dulce was located, and like that she'll return back home to her family. But anyway, keep that in mind. Listen to it, because a lot of people are like, the mom is guilty, but we're not also looking at the mistakes that she was handed during her daughter's disappearance. Thank you. Have a good evening.
All right. And let the people know about this little girl that went missing out of Millville. That keep vigilant.
I can't really see her name. I can't really see her name on there, but she's missing from
your kids. The little girl's name. She's 15 years old, and her name is Gisela.
Yeah.
Gisela.
Yeah. Well, she's missing from Millville,
she's
New
15,
Jersey.
and she's missing.
And that's a whole nother crazy story. I do hope and pray that her mom does find her in the best that she could find her. And that I hope that they move their asses fast enough to get, but because still there's no Amber Alert for this girl, although there's a bunch of criteria that match. And I was there and I heard it, I seen it myself, and they still have not done an Amber Alert for that girl. And does she need an Amber Alert? Yes, she does. Because she could possibly be in danger. All right. Well, with that said, good night, guys. Talk to you later.
All right. Okay. There's crazy stuff going on in this world. You feel me? Y'all have a blessed night. And with that said, this is your boy Moises Beauchamp Jr. getting up out of here. If you're new to the channel, be sure to subscribe, hit that like button on down below in the comment section. Peace.